Hello everyone, good evening. This is 26th October 2013, and what is happening in India right now is that the inflation is raging hot, and it is basically killing the middle class. It is basically killing the poor people, those who are living on the margin of the society, and it is it is giving a lot of headache to the Indian government also. Especially the prices of onion is right now making everybody cry, and in last couple of months time the prices of onion has gone up through the roof. So for example, right now the onion prices are something like 100 rupees per kilogram. Onion is trading at something like 100 rupees per kilogram in New Delhi, and also in my state Gujarat, it is selling at something like 80 to 85 rupees per kilogram. I think a couple of days back it was selling at 100 rupees per kilogram. In Gujarat also similarly it is trading at a very high price all across the country, and it has becoming a big issue right now for the especially for the Indian government, the UPA government, who is very much worried about this high onion prices, because onion is politically very sensitive commodity. What can happen is the incumbent government can actually lose election because of high prices of onion. So the Indian government is trying every bit hard to bring down the price of onion, but they are not being successful so far, and I'm sure they will not be successful in future also if they are continuing to pursue the same kind of lunatic economic policies. Anyways, but that we discuss later on, that what kind of policies government is following. Right now I want to talk about what actually determines this price of onion, and why the price of onion is going higher and higher day by day, and what are the factors which are determining this price of onion. And not only that, I also want to talk about how we can actually bring down the price of onion, what we need to do. Right, first of all, what we need to do is that we have to identify the causes of this high price of onion, and once we identify the causes, then finding the solution is very, very easy, because we have to attack those causes. We have to reverse those causes to bring down the price of onion. So okay, let's start with these four determining factors which are right now causing this high price of onion. Now, as I have discussed in my past video economic reports also, that any price, any market price is actually determined by four factors. So let's take the example of onion. So onion price, so what happens in the market is that onion is trading against rupee, currency rupee in the market. So what happens is the price, this exchange ratio of onion to rupee, is determined by four factors. On one side you have the demand and supply of onions, and on the other side you have demand and supply of rupee. So these four factors together are determining the price of onion. So let's see what happens when these four, and how these four factors are determining the price of onion. So just like in economics, because we want to carry out this analysis, that which single factor is responsible, actually all these factors together are responsible, but because we want to find out that which particular factor is having what kind of effect on price, so we in economics we basically make this assumption that other things are going to remain constant, the ceteris paribus assumption. So let's say that, suppose if other things are remaining constant, that means the supply of onion and on the other side demand and supply of rupee is constant, and suppose if the price of the demand of onion goes up, in that case the price of onion will go up. If the supply of onion and the demand and supply of rupee remains constant and the demand of onion goes up, then the price of onion will go up. Conversely, if the demand for onion goes down and those other factors remaining constant, then the price of onion will go down. Similarly, if you assume that the demand for onions and on the other side the demand for rupee and the supply of rupee remains constant, and the supply of onion goes down, then the price of onion will go up. And if the supply of onion goes down and those other factors remaining constant, then what happens is if the supply goes down, the price goes up, and if the supply of onion goes up and those other factors remaining constant, then the price of onion will go down. So this is from the onions demand and supply side. Now let's see what happens when the supply of rupee and demand for rupee changes. Now let's assume that the demand for rupee and the demand and supply of onion is constant. And if the supply of rupee goes up, then what will happen? The price of onion will goes up. Why? Because the price of onion is actually expressed in terms of rupee, and when the rupees supply goes up, what happens is that the rupees purchasing power reduces. That means it is now buying less onions. So looking from the onion side, it looks like that the onions are becoming costly because now you have to exchange more notes for buying the same quantity of onion than before the rise of supply, of rupee. Now let's see that suppose if the supply of rupee goes down and other factors remaining constant, then the price of onion will fall because the supply of rupee has gone down, so the purchasing power of rupee has gone up. Now let's see if supply of rupee and the demand and supply of onion is remaining constant and the demand for rupee goes up, then in that case also the purchasing power of rupee will go up, and in that case the price of onion will go down. And conversely, if the demand for rupee goes down, then what will happen is that the price of onion will also go up because the purchasing power of rupee has gone down because people are spending more rupees. The demand for rupee has gone down. So in this way, these four factors at a time are combining and determining the price of onion. Now to apply this theory to the present condition, that why the price of onion is so high, we have to identify which factors are changing rapidly. The first major culprit here, the first major cause is the rising supply of rupee. We all know that the Indian Central Bank RBI right now is printing truckload of money. They are printing money like crazy since the beginning of financial crisis in 2007. They are creating inflation. They are printing and creating money out of thin air, and that is inflation. That is increasing the supply of rupee, and that is what is resulting into the lower purchasing power of rupee, and that means the higher price of onions. Not only the higher price of onion, but higher prices of all other commodities which are trading, which are exchanging against this rupee currency. So that is the main cause of high price of onion. Remember, as I said, increase in the supply of money and credit is inflation, and rising prices is just one effect of that inflation. So that is the prime cause why the onion is becoming costlier and costlier day by day, because the RBI is printing and creating this money out of thin air. They are creating inflation, and because of that inflation, the onion is becoming costly. It's trading at 100 rupees per kilogram. The onion weight is still 1 kilogram. It was selling, let's say, 10 rupees per kilogram 1 year back. What has changed is that the supply of rupee has gone up. So now instead of exchanging 1 10 rupee note against that 1 kilogram onion, we have to now exchange 100 rupee note or 10 rupees note against that same 1 kilogram of onion. So that's what is going on. That's the prime cause. The another reason is also because the agricultural sector is heavily, basically manipulated by the Indian government. Indian government follows the central planning. So the agricultural sector is not some free market, economy or free market sector. And this is the reason why, because of central planning and government intervention, the supply bottlenecks are also being created. And because of that, lower supply, let's say, basically include the monsoon season also, it has also disrupted the supply a little bit. So what's happening? Because of that, also the prices are going up. But remember, this is not the prime cause of higher price of onion. The prime cause is increased supply of rupee currency note, and that has eroded the purchasing power of rupee, and that's why it is buying less and less onions. Or you have to give more and more rupees to buy the same amount of onions, compared to last year, for example. So the supply bottleneck together with the increased supply of money is resulting into this higher price of onion. Remember, this higher supply of rupee results into higher demand of onion, because this newly printed money goes into people's hands, and because people's time preference haven't changed, they are spending the same amount of money as before. So what they're doing is now they are going and demanding onions from the market, more and more people. So that is increasing the demand of onions. And this increased demand coupled with decreased supply because of monsoon and because of heavy, especially the heavy meddling of government in the agricultural sector, because of the central planning, the bottlenecks are there, and that is the reason that is also contributing into this higher price of onion. So the prime reason of higher price of onion is the increased supply of rupee. That is the prime and the main fundamental cause of higher price of onion, right? The supply bottleneck is a minor factor. It's not the major factor. It is obviously having some contribution in this higher price of onion, but it is not the cause, or it is not even the primary cause of this higher price of onions. Okay, now once we understood that what is resulting, what is determining, what is causing this higher price of onion, now we are in a position to basically find out the solution, right? If the cause of higher price of onion is the increased supply of rupee, then obviously the solution is to stop this money printing. RBI must stop its loose monetary policy. They must increase the market interest rate. They must stop printing and creating money out of thin air. They must immediately freeze the money supply at whatever level it is right now. If they are going to print any more new money, then that is going to exacerbate this problem. That is going to result into more higher prices of onion and all other commodities which are trading against rupee. So that's what the main solution is. We have to stop, we have to tell or compel, pressurize RBI to stop its loose monetary policy. As long as they are printing and creating money out of thin air, the prices of all other commodities are not going to come down. So RBI must be stopped by all of us. We can start some kind of end the Fed kind of campaign in India also, something like end the RBI. Right, because they are the ones who are the culprits. They are the ones who are right now killing all of us because of this, through this inflation. So we must stop the money supply. We must freeze it whatever level it is right now. Once we do that, you will see that the prices of onion will start to come down. Another thing what we have to do is that we have to basically remove this bottleneck. We have to increase the supply of onion, and that is possible only when we remove the government intervention into not only the agricultural sector but the whole economy. Right? We can start with the agricultural sector. Right? We have to just sack this despicable politician, Sharad Pawar. Right? He is the one who is responsible for all this, supply bottlenecks. Once the government intervention is out of the market prices will determine. See what happens, for example, right now, because the onion prices are so high, so what will happen? Immediately, most of the farmers will start cultivating onions. They will try to get supply from somewhere, and the moment supply increases in the market, the prices will slowly start to come down. The higher prices will attract more sellers into the market if we have free market, and that higher supply of onion with these new entrepreneurs, these new sellers are bringing in the market, that itself will lower the price of onion. What we can also do is, we can have a free market in the domestic economy, or as well as we should open up the borders for the free foreign trade. Right now, the government is imposing all kinds of import restrictions and export restrictions and everything. They are meddling into the foreign trade. We don't have any free trade. Right? If we have free foreign trade with other countries, then obviously our borders are open. And what will happen if the price of onion are higher in the Indian market? Obviously, the Pakistani onion farmers and the Chinese onion farmers and the Egyptian onion farmers, they are all attracted to sell their onions into the Indian market. So if we don't have any government intervention, if we don't have any import duties, or if we don't have any other such protective tariff, etc., then all these sellers from all over the world, not only just Pakistan or China, they can come from Australia or America or European Union or wherever they are. They can just come in and sell their onions over here if they know that they are getting higher prices in India. The moment that fresh supply will enter the Indian market, obviously the supply of onion will go up, and that will bring down the price of onion. So the solution of this problem are very simple, but they are unfortunately politically incorrect solution, and that is the reason why no government is going to implement these solutions voluntarily. Right? In fact, right now what the Indian government, the stupid Indian government is doing is they are actually inviting tenders for importing onions from China, Pakistan and Egypt. Can you imagine when the Indians are right now starving, they are not getting this staple food, Indian government is busy inviting tenders. Obviously that's going to delay the supply, and when they'll bring in the tender, that process will go on for long. Right, and ultimately what will happen is the prices will never come down. And it's kind of funny that you have to, this so-called emerging economy has to rely on Pakistan and China and Egyptian onions. I don't think India is an emerging economy, whatever is going on right now. In any case, but as I told you that these are all the solutions. We have to dismantle the RBI, remove its monopoly over money, freeze the money supply wherever it is right now, pressurize RBI. If we cannot dismantle it immediately, then pressurize RBI to stop its loose monetary policy, stop printing money, stop creating money out of thin air. And then we have to have a free market capitalist economy in India and free foreign trade with other countries. If we can do all these things, then not only the onion prices but all other prices will come down. As long as these things are not happening, nothing is going to change for better. Alright, so you just take care of yourself out there, and I'm going to come back next time and analyze another thing. I want to talk about gold and other such things. I think Raghuram Rajan is going to announce his second monetary policy pretty soon, so I will come back and analyze those things also. So for right now, thank you very much for watching me, and good night.